LAFCO Special Meeting, December 16, 2019.
For December 16th, I would ask that we do the pledge.
Sorry, there's no flag.
We don't have a
Anybody
flag.
got one on the lapel?
There's one waving somewhere. We don't know. Let's just pretend.
There's probably one waving outside this building somewhere.
So there's one right over there somewhere. Okay.
And the Alamo.
In the Altamont on a silk Huh?
That's true.
There's one outside here.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Could I have the roll call, please? Spud's here.
Commissioner Haggerty,
Here.
Commissioner Spondorio,
Here.
Commissioner Marchand, Commissioner Thorne,
Here.
Commissioner Miley, Commissioner Johnson, Commissioner Wieskamp, Commissioner Halbert, Commissioner Valle, Commissioner Van Heater Leopold,
Here.
Commissioner Pico.
And we obviously have a quorum public
You got
comment.
Ann, right?
Time in which you can speak to anything that's not.
We
on
are
today's
not
agenda.
overrun by flag or
Yeah.
public.
All right, with that, I will turn it over to Rachel for item 1005A.
Thank you, Chair. So at Alameda LAFCO's May 7, 2018 regular meeting, the Commission approved an 18-month contract with QK Associates to perform a municipal service review on water, wastewater, stormwater, and flood control services, and also to do related sphere of influence updates. So the current agreement expired on November 30th of this year, and the proposed second amendment extends the contract for an additional 6-month period with an expiration date ending on May 31st, 2020. The contract amount in the proposed second agreement would not increase and would remain the same. This would just allow for LAFCO to continue to pay for the remaining amount on that contract and for them to present and draft and finish up the report. So due to delays with the contract negotiation and the data collection phase, QK needs this additional time to prepare the report. Overall, this item is for the Commission to extend the contract. Again, there's no additional associated cost with the contract. It's just for our financial accounting system so that we can continue to pay them. So staff asked the Commission to approve and extend the contract with this second agreement in the amendment.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Second. Okay. Moved to second. Is there any objection to the motion? Anybody in the public wish to speak?
There was a flag.
Motion passed without objection. Item 1005B.
Thank you, Chair. For 1005, at the Commission's May 29, 2019 special meeting, the membership approved an MOU agreement between Alameda LAFCO and the County of Alameda that notably included, among other items, Alameda LAFCO's on office space, separate from county agencies and other departments, but located within a county-owned or leased facility. So the CDA has agreed to sublease the offices located in 224 West Winton Avenue, Suite 110 in Hayward, to the Commission starting January 1st of 2020. The offices are currently vacant, but will be used as an interim office space until an agreement for long-term office space is executed. Both agencies, staff, and council have reviewed the proposed MOU, and the County of Alameda Board of Supervisors is scheduled to formally take action on the MOU at its scheduled meeting for December 17th, which would be tomorrow. The agreement outlines in consideration for the use of the interim space, Alameda LAFCO would pay a use fee that would amount for around $2,600 per month to $32,000 annually. The use fee will include the rent for the space, services such as telecommunications, furniture, kitchen use, and building security. The CDA can adjust this fee on an annual basis, but they will give LAFCO prompt notification. And the Commission did budget at least $25,000 for this current fiscal year for a new interim space, but we do have a $50,000 contingency fee to cover to get to that $32,000. And we'll also be working with ITD to make sure that we're not getting charged for services twice, given that we already paid $27,000 to ITD. So we'll be working with them to make sure that we can have a reduce in that amount. But the proposed agreement outlines LAFCO's clear direction from its MOU with the county, and hope to execute an MOU between the CDA for the interim space. So staff's recommendation is that the commission approve the proposed MOU agreement with the CDA for this interim space.
Okay, as I understand, Rachel, you're happy with the digs you're moving into?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
There's enough room and everything you need?
Yes.
Any other questions?
I want to just run through the numbers. I mean, what are we currently in the county administration building? What are we paying? And I know I saw the 27 grand for IT. So, but then when we move, we'll pay about 2,700-ish.
So
That includes some IT.
For the $32,000 annually at the CDA space, that includes IT, that includes building security, use for like printer and copier, and it has conference space, so it's a bigger space. So when we're currently paying $27,000 for ITD services, and we pay $10,000 a year for rent at the CAO's office. So staff will be working with ITD to make sure that $27,000 is reduced, given that we will be paying a use fee that will include the telecommunications.
And how much do you think of how much the IT services can be reduced from the 20?
At least I'm hoping by $10,000. We pay a lot for ITD because of GIS. And we're working with them to understand the cost for GIS, given that we're never really used GIS before. We're starting to now, but we're working with them to understand the cost structure and how we're billed by them.
So, I mean, just to sum it up, right now we're paying 10,000 plus 27,000, so about 37,000, just in terms of this occupancy plus this IT. We're going to pay 32 in occupancy. That includes some IT, and we're hoping that comes down to 17. So basically about 50. So we go from 37 to 50-ish. Am I kind of getting that right? Combining those two?
With ITD,
Yes.
including with ITD, yes.
I'm just trying to make.
Mhm.
Okay.
Anybody else?
If you can get them with that, you were a star.
The CDA do the GIS stuff?
CDA does do GIS.
Okay, so you're in CDA now, so you
Yes.
should have some influence.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, any other questions? Motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
Move in second, any objection to the motion? Motion passes without objection. Item 1005C.
Thank you, Chair. So at the Commission's, again, special meeting held on May 29th, the membership amended its MOU with the county that incorporated processes to best reflect LAFCO's current operational needs. A part of that, the Commission also has the opportunity now to present comments to the county administrator in regards of an executive officer performance evaluation. Staff recommends that the Commission follow a framework that outlines a performance review process for the executive officer position. The proposed policy draft outlines a structure in which the Commission can provide comments to the county administrator, and in return, the Commission can conduct a performance review with the executive officer. So if passed, the staff will be providing the Commission a performance evaluation sheet that is used by the county, and staff will have the opportunity to, the Commission will have the opportunity to fill out that form within 3 weeks. Staff will also draft a letter stating the overview of that year that will be under review, that will be given to the Commission. And then the chair will collect those performance review sheets, tabulate them, and present that information to the county administrator and also the community development director. And then through the advice of the county administrator, they can work with the chair and present their feedback to the chair, and the chair at our next meeting in January 16th can give an overview in a closed session hearing of the summary of the commission and the CAO's performance of the executive officer. I hope that's a little not convoluted. But basically, the overarching goal is an opportunity for the commission to provide feedback to the executive officer and for them to be a process to do so. And this proposed policy would be in the bylaws, in the commission's bylaws. So staff is asking for update on Alameda LAFCO's bylaws by approving the draft policy with or without amendments on the executive officer performance review process. And again, it would begin the performance review at the next regular meeting. And there's a typo. It's not January 12th, it would be January 16th.
Is that it?
That is
No more oversight over this? Okay, I'll ask if there's any questions. Is there any questions? So, is there any way that, at a minimum, and if anybody else wants to see, I can see this so-called county review form?
Yes.
And whether or not it's really been designed that's applicable to your job, because I'm getting a feeling that it could be rather generic,
Okay.
and we might want to look at it a little
Okay.
bit. I'm happy to go over it with you, but
Okay.
and then so the other thing I would ask is, as I understand it, and maybe I heard it different today, but people have 3 weeks to fill in the forms. Those forms come to me?
Yes. They would
Okay, so they
go
come to me.
Mhm.
So then I would ask, is the committee interested in having like a subcommittee? Or is the board interested in having a subcommittee as opposed to just me working with all those other people? Figure we might add a few more people. I don't know, if you don't care, if nobody wants to do it.
I certainly hope that you can look at this form and make sure it's applicable before
Oh,
we get
I'll
into
definitely
it.
do that. I mean,
Okay,
that's,
before it comes out.
that, but I was just wondering if anybody else, or maybe just at the minimum, assign the vice chair to it also. So,
Sounds good.
Fine,
I like that.
that's
okay.
fine.
And then, will you, prior to the 3 weeks, be submitting to us kind of what your goals were when you, I guess, got hired?
Mhm.
And where you are with them, and then what you're looking for, I guess maybe based on what happens later on, to the future?
Okay, yeah.
So you'll be doing that too?
Yes.
Okay, so everybody's clear on the process, we're adding Splend to the process, and then you'll get something from Rachel, kind of what she's been doing, what she plans to do. You can fill out yours, you have 3 weeks to fill them out, and then we'll get it back to me, and Splend and I will then meet with everybody who's involved. Okay?
Okay.
All right, anything else on that, Rachel?
No, thank you.
To clarify, are you suggesting
Not the attorney.
to amend the bylaws to include the subcommittee, or is that
It's
separate?
it's not a subcommittee, it's chair and vice chair. What is it, what does the bylaw say?
Says chair.
It says just chair.
Yeah.
Chair shall chair the right.
That's what that,
I'm just saying I want some help, I don't think we have to go through this whole bylaw change, do
It's
you?
just an ad hoc committee, isn't it?
No.
Big deal.
I don't know, what do you say?
How about the chair and this, can we just add the chair and this designee?
that's
I mean,
fine.
We're doing the bylaws
Just-
right now, so.
Your bylaws are laying out your procedure, so if you want to memorialize that procedure,
Yeah, so we
it'd be
just
nice to
do
put it in
that
the bylaws.
Right here.
Okay.
Glenn looks happy to be a designee.
No, that's fine, yeah, I think a designee, because, I mean, you know,
So you say
my only
the
comment
chair,
was,
Vice chair, and you just designate.
yeah, I mean, I think Scott has a point, because I looked at this and said 3 weeks, like, okay, is that a county thing? I mean, businesses don't necessarily stick to, you know, a time frame. They usually say, we need it done by this date, right? Versus, so if Scott happens to be unavailable and needs some help, you know, that makes complete sense. If 3 weeks came from somewhere that just is a standard within the county.
Well, but the meeting is going to be set when the review is going to take place.
Right.
So presumably the chair would set that meeting,
Right.
and he would know if he's going to be out 3 weeks. 3 weeks, because we're like, it's like herding cats. You get a commissioner a form, he's going to wait till the night before to fill it out. So,
No, it's honest God truth. I've been through this. I go through this at the Air District and at MTC, you ask for this and you get them the night before, the morning of.
yeah, right. That's what I'm saying, but you have to have a deadline set. So the chair would be setting the date of that meeting, so I think that the chair would know 3 weeks in advance of when that was going to be. So he's giving 3 weeks to the other commissioners to get the form in.
Sure.
He knows when that date's going to be set, so that's why I think maybe just have the chair, the vice chair, or the chair's designee shall tabulate and summarize the forms, and we just make that change right here. It works, Scott?
Works for me. I'm looking at Andrew.
That's fine as a process. My only comment was, were you proposing to amend the language in here, because we would need to make
Well, I
changes?
guess that's what I'm
Yeah.
hearing.
Okay, so I'll make that motion.
Is staff clear on the motion? I guess just to add the words vice chair or designee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or the chair's designee.
Yeah,
Okay.
no big deal.
I have a motion. Thorn has his mouth full, so. All right, okay, motion is second, is there an objection, motion passed, without objection. All right, Bill, Rachel, did you want to introduce our distinguished
Absolutely.
guest?
So you may be familiar with our facilitator, Bill Chiat. I think he conducted our 2014 strategic plan, coming all the way from Napa, California. Bill is a great facilitator,
Back here
and
to the original wine country.
he will be starting our strategic plan. So please welcome Bill. Thank you.
All right.